What's up guys, it's Ed from TechSource and welcome to another detailed camera comparison test. This time we are facing off the iPhone 6s Plus against the LG G4, but before we jump into the samples, let's take a quick look at the specs. The iPhone 6 Plus has a 12 megapixel rear-facing camera with an aperture of 2.2 that can shoot up to 4K resolution, and the LG G4 has a 16 megapixel camera with an aperture of 1.8 that can shoot up to 4K resolution as well. For front-facing cameras, the iPhone 6s Plus has a 5 megapixel camera that can shoot up to 720p, and the G4's 8 megapixel camera can shoot up to 1080p. So without wasting any more time, let's sit back, relax, and take a look at some samples. When it comes to autofocusing, the 6s Plus does a great job no matter the situation. It's quick and very accurate, and honestly I have no complaints. The G4 on the other hand isn't as consistent as I would have liked. Depending on how well lit the background is, the phone will have trouble focusing at times. It's really consistent and gets extremely annoying at times. However, both phones shoot stunning videos. The G4 has a much wider field of view, but both shoot with cooler colors. However, it looks like the G4 is more on the cooler side compared to the 6s. The G4 is also notorious for having oversaturated colors, and you can really tell by looking at the reds. It definitely makes the colors pop out more, but it's at a point where it doesn't remain true to life. The iPhone 6s still is the color accuracy king. The actual real-life colors of the purple bars are the exact same color as you see in the iPhone 6s video. On the G4, they appear to be more violet than purple. When it comes to low-light video, the G4 takes the crown. Everything is just more clear and visible. I also noticed that the lens constantly tries to refocus and the edges of the video have this swaying effect while moving the phone, which is noticeable and kind of annoying. For stabilization, both phones were shot in 4K resolution and were strapped on a device to ensure a very accurate stabilization reading, and from the footage, it's evident that the 6s has a much better optical image stabilization. There's just too much swaying from the LG G4. What's up guys, and welcome to the front-facing video camera test and microphone quality test between the iPhone 6s Plus and the LG G4. There will be an audio icon somewhere on the screen and it will indicate which phone's audio is being used. And also both phones are being shot in its highest resolution. For front-facing camera, the G4 has sharper footage due to the higher megapixel count and has a much wider field of view. However, as I said in the video, the dynamic range is completely unbalanced as well. The background is completely overexposed on the G4, whereas the foreground is slightly underexposed. The iPhone 6s does a phenomenal job on balancing the correct amount of exposure. Now let's take a look at the daylight pics. Sharpness goes to the G4 hands down. No matter how you look at it, the 16 megapixel camera really shines through, providing extra crispy photos consistently. And as always, it has a much wider field of view. In terms of true to life colors, the iPhone 6s takes the cake on that one. I mentioned earlier in the video that the G4's images are slightly oversaturated, throwing off the color accuracy, and a good example is the red slide in this picture. The actual color of the poles are in fact purple, and the 6s represents them the best. Dynamic range is another thing that the G4 struggles with. In almost every shot, the background is completely overexposed, even with HDR enabled. The 6s does a much better job, even with the front-facing camera. The exposure is nicely balanced on the 6s. However, the sharpness and wider field of view pictures you get from the 8 megapixel front-facing camera on the G4 is unparalleled and is easily one of the best front-facing cameras out there. For low-light pictures, I'm gonna have to give it to the G4. The 1.8 aperture is really tough to beat. Pictures are just a lot more clear and sharper. The 6s also has a lot more noise than the G4, and you guys can tell if I zoom in closer at Bob's car. The G4 also does a better job capturing motion and low light. You can really see the difference between motion blur on both of the phones. I also like the flash on the G4 better. It's more powerful, so when you need to take pictures from a distance, it lights up the object you are aiming at as well as its surroundings, whereas the 6s has a more softer flash. So there you have it, both phones have their strengths and weaknesses. I'm honestly torn between the two of them. I do love the true to life colors and stabilization from the iPhone 6s, but the G4 shoots stunning crispy photos and has amazing low light performance. So I don't know guys, what do you think? Let me know by dropping your comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. But anyways, that's it for the video. If you guys enjoy my camera comparisons and want me to continue doing them, make sure to hit that like button to show your support, and let me know which phone you want to see go up against the 6s next by dropping a comment down below. If you guys are new to the channel, feel free to check out my camera comparison playlist down below if you're looking for other camera comparison tests. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.